So this is Danny Flexon here for Seconds Out. Delighted to be joined by my old friend, top trainer, Sugarhill Steward. Season's greetings. How are you?
Season's greeting, Danny. I'm doing great. How's it over there?
I'm very good. I guess the question everyone watching is going to want an answer to right now is, are you getting ready to pack your bags and visit us for a training camp?
That's the question that I'm ready for. I want to know too, so I don't have an answer for that either. For me, we all hearing a lot of things, but for me, it's just whenever I hear something definite, that's when I get ready. I don't get ready, too early. And as far as me packing my bag coming over to England, I already got stuff over there. I live at I have a house over there. It's Tyson, one of Tyson's houses. So I'm already packed and moved in. All I gotta do is just pick up my little carry-on and get on the plane.
Excellent. Well, we'll look forward to that. I mean, there's been a lot of talk. I know you said there's nothing definite yet, but there's been a lot of talk about Tyson having a homecoming fight in March, non-title fight, with Dillian Whyte going through arbitration at the moment with the WBC. What's your take on that whole situation?
My take actually is this. I don't get too involved in it personally or emotionally because I know things change in boxing. So for me, it's just whatever they say is what I do. Yeah, I know it's probably what everybody wants to know what's on my mind, but really it's not nothing on my mind. I don't get caught up in that because it's extra stress that I don't want. And with extra stress, then I wouldn't be looking as beautiful as I do, I keep myself looking young because I have less stress. So yeah, I don't like to deal with the stress. It's not for me. I channel away from it, so I don't think about it too much. It's just whenever they tell me what happens, it's fine. I can't. If it was something I had to do with, if I had some kind of control or some kind of input or something like that, then yeah. But I don't, so I just stay out the way and do my job as as training and teaching.
Does that work in terms of when opponents are confirmed as well, though? So, Dillian Whyte was in the frame, if you like, and now that's been delayed. Were you, as a trainer, already thinking about him and what the threats he poses and stuff, or do you wait until there's a date and a definite opponent?
I don't think about it too much. Tyson's been in there with so many different opponents. He's seen everybody, everything. And for myself, as being a trainer, I've seen just about everything, probably. Maybe not, but I've seen a lot. So it's not too much. It's not too many different things that you're going to do that I think or that needs to be done because, it's the fighters that each man has two hands, 2 feet. It's 2 men in there. There's no extra equipment, no anything. So it's just, for me, it's just preparing Tyson to be a better Tyson. Just keep improving and keep teaching him. And for me, that's what works. That's what I love to do. I don't so much look at the other opponents so much. I look at my fighter like Tyson. I look at him as my opponent. And anything that I can hit him with or do to him, those are the things that I try to correct and try to stay on top of. So I don't have to worry about that when there's an opponent, scheduled or not scheduled. It's just something I don't think about. Just keep making him the best, and I believe it makes me a lot better because I'm just focused on my fighter more so than worrying about how to train him for somebody else. How if it's him and if it's not him. That's just a lot of extra stuff to be worried about. And some people like it, some people enjoy it. I don't. So I try to keep things easy and keep it simple.
And with that focus on Tyson, a lot of people look at his last couple of performances and say, there's very little that he can improve upon. You obviously see him day in, day out when you're in the gym. What areas do you look at that you'd like to still see more from him?
For me, I like to see more power still. I like power. If he can go out there and just take one punch and get it over with, hey, that's excitement. People, as much as people would get tired of seeing it, they would love it at first, and then they would get tired of seeing it. The same way they did with Mike Tyson. At some point, when people were tired of seeing Mike Tyson knock people out, they wanted to go longer. They wanted to be interesting. And, that time came, but up until then, that just creates so much excitement for boxing. One of the things I always say, and I'm going to keep saying it, the heavyweight division runs boxing, period. Hands down, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And when the heavyweight division is flourishing, boxing is flourishing. Big time.
And so you'd like to see more power from Tyson, but what brings that about? Because you've obviously got him fighting in a more aggressive fashion. is it now just kind of body mechanics? Is it doing it more often, consistency? What's going to give you that extra percentage?
So I don't sound like some kind of scientist and try to make myself better or look better than what I know, but it's just basic. It's basic fundamentals, but it's just repetition. Mm. That word might be too big, like you said, just doing it over. But the word I say is repetition. That's about as big as words I'm gonna use.
I think everyone can understand that, and it makes perfect sense. One thing I do want to ask you about, and I know you don't focus too heavily on future opponents. One of the names mentioned as a possibility for March by Bob Arum is Joseph Parker. Now, I'm not going to ask you about Parker specifically, but he's trained by Andy Lee, of course, who works with you generally in Tyson's corner. How would you see that working if those two were to fight each other?
I would see us all in the WWE, and we would all be a nice big tag team cage match.
You come in with the steel chair at the end.
It'll be a crossover. It'll be one of those crossover sports where we have boxing fans and wrestling fans, and we're making a big giant event. Historical.
While we all look forward to that, from a more practical perspective, presumably you would understand if Andy Lee felt he had to be with his fighter, and you'd pit your wits against Andy, someone you're used to working with.
That's my brother, man. You know, there's nothing going to change the way we feel about each other and what we'll do for each other. You know, so and our competitive spirits too. But I mean, if that's something that happens, it just happens. But I don't think too much about it. This is the first time I ever thought about it when you just said that. So it's all new for me. I don't think about it like that. You know, Andy's doing a fantastic job. He had a great victory and a performance at both of them, Joseph Parker and Andy Lee. So, you know, as far as I'm concerned, I'm just happy for that. You know, happy for that performance and you know what they worked on, they accomplished it.
If it was up to you, though, would you prefer not to go against him because of your personal relationship?
No, of course not. It wouldn't. I mean, for me, I'm not going after like my own personal. No, I wouldn't go after a friend of mine, like a family member. You know, I wouldn't do that. That doesn't sound too appealing for me or attractive. So yeah, I mean, simple as that.
And just before we move on to our review of the year, I just want to ask you your relationship with Tyson. Just give us an idea of how that's evolved over the last couple of training camps. But you were always very close. What if anything has changed, or have you just become more close? What's the more close? Yeah. How has that happened? How has that evolved? Is it just seeing each other every day?
Yeah, pretty much. It's just being together more often. We've always had a great relationship and great amount of respect for each other. And just, the more time you spend together, the closer you're going to get, the more memories you're going to have and things like that. So that's pretty much what it is. It's just the more time being spent together and enjoying ourselves. We complement each other. It's something I really can't describe. It's a special relationship, special bond, and there's nothing fake about it. It's all genuine and real, and we both enjoy it. And I think that's what makes me and him even more a unique pair than a lot of other I guess they call it not duos. It's a lot of other duos out there in boxing. But yeah, me and Tyson click. I mean, shit, everything we do. I mean, it's almost like if I'm thinking it, he thinking it. If he know it, I know it. If I don't know it, he know it. It's just I can't really describe it. It's enjoyable. It's very similar to like with me and Andy Lee. Me and Andy Lee were very close at the same time. We were super close. We stayed together for 7 years in the same house, me, Andy, and Emmanuel, and we became very close. So as far as Andy, I mean, the same thing was with me and Andy. We click, and it's fantastic. It's a great feeling. It's very enjoyable, and it keeps everything fresh and happy all the time.
Great stuff. Really, really appreciate that.